Well, one man's become so disgruntled with women making themselves look skinnier than they are on their profiles, he's calling for dating apps to publish women's weights. So is it OK to slim down falsely for your online dating profile, or should you be completely upfront? Well, joining us now is TV presenter Melinda Messenger, who says that you shouldn't mislead people on dating apps, and actor Richard Blackwood, who says telling the odd lie about your looks is absolutely fine.
What lies have you told?
I personally... You're going to start by hitting me.
Start off by lying. What kind of a relationship is that?
Most relationships start by lying. Come on, let's just be honest.
That's not hiding to nowhere.
Yeah, well, no, I've never told a lie personally, but I do understand there are some people out there that find it hard to be very honest about the way they look, especially because they believe that's a game changer.
But don't blokes do this as well, by the way?
That's what I'm saying.
Everyone does it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like...
Yeah, but what is the point?
OK, can I ask a question?
Yeah, hang on, no. So, I mean, the point is if you're lying about something as intrinsic as, say, you know, how tall you are, what size you are...
You're going to have your colour known pretty quickly, aren't you?
And also, who wants to meet that guy or that woman who's that judgy, who is going to rule you out based on, yeah, no, I'm sorry, you know, 2 inches too tall, 2 inches too small, you know, that size, not this size. You know, rule them out.
Are you on Tinder?
Let's get the crowd back. Let's get the crowd back.
Are you on Raya?
I'm not on any
Bumble?
of them, but you know what? I would. I don't think there's anything wrong with them.
No.
You know, because there can be a bit of a stigma, but I think there's nothing wrong with them. But it would just be awkward, because if you're sort of relatively known or recognisable, then, you know, you're just going to attract the wrong kind of people. I'd like to meet somebody that liked me for me, not because of who they thought I might be.
If you looked at someone online and they said, I'm 6'1" and slim build, and then they turned up and they were 5'9" and a little broader, would you immediately reject them?
I would be immediately alarmed, not based on the fact that they were, you know, their height wasn't what they said it was. It would be the fact that they lied. You know,
right.
So the lie for me would be an alarm bell, because it'd be, what's wrong with who you are, whatever size you are.
But Richard, the thing is, isn't the thing at the moment is, like, on Instagram, nobody posts pictures apart from me of how they actually look, right?
Besides who?
You and me. You and me. I put the real me up, which is why, you know.
Yeah.
But, and if you want to follow me, at Piers Morgan. But the truth is, I don't think anyone wants the real them anymore.
I think you're right.
On anything.
I think because social media is a lot of pressure. You know, you've got to remember, right, people right now, it's a time where everything's quick and it's instant. And the fact that on Tinder, I was on it for a week, right, you can do that, shows how quick and instant people are.
Yeah,
so they got to do something to grab your attention.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing that I think people like you and myself kind of take for granted. You, without doubt, are beautiful. You was a model. You've never... No, look, this...
You two are both single, right?
Yes.
Why don't you get together?
I mean,
We've known each other 22
Tinder. Why don't you...
We've known each other 22 years. We've known each other a long time. We've known each other a long... 22 years we've known
Is
each other.
that too long?
Really?
That's
Yeah.
longer than most marriages.
It is, but...
I mean, Melinda...
Yeah, don't spoil it by getting together.
No, because then we break up next week and we start doing that again. Right? But I think what it is that we take things for granted that we don't need to necessarily lie about the way we look. But there are people out there that, you know, maybe they got skin condition or whatever it is.
And Melinda, what they want is just to get in the room.
In the room.
Because if you do a little white lie, but then you get face-to-face, they can wow you with their personality, their sense of humour, you know, all their chivalry.
What you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. I'm thinking this filter works on behalf of you. So basically, you know, if somebody is that judgy, you know, that judgy that they're going to rule people out based on if they're 2 inches too short or too tall or too big, you know, is that someone you want to date? No.
But we're not just talking about that. You're talking about, you know, if a woman says, look, I look like, you know, Cindy Crawford, and she comes in and she's like 36 stone and 4 foot tall, you're like, well, hang on a second.
Yeah.
I've been completely conned here.
This relationship may
It's
not
not a
work
good
out.
start to any burgeoning relationship, is it? And the same with guys, it's the same thing.
Exactly right. It's a total red flag, isn't it? And it's like, well, what's wrong with you as you are? I get the whole filter thing. I get the whole Instagram. It's all gone crazy.
Ain't that the same? Because, as I say, right now, there are men that make themselves look bigger. There are women that make themselves look slightly more slimmer in the waistline and so forth. And then when you turn up, they go, oh, what it was... that was 2 months ago.
Don't we,
but what's interesting, I think, is I have never been drawn to conventional perfection in anybody.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I actually
It's
prefer
actually unattractive,
imperfection
isn't
it?
for people.
Yes.
I don't understand why people...
there is nothing that's not perfect about Celia.
Well, obviously, she had to pass an extensive series of auditions.
If Celia turned up on a Tinder date, you would just think, I have won the lottery, marry me now. There is nothing,
I think she,
apart from Cindy Crawford, I would want more than this
She knows
woman.
who won the lottery, and it wasn't me.
I like you, you know. I like you. Just.
But-
sorry, didn't give me that. You gave me
No,
a look.
don't.
But the truth
He
is,
thinks he's popular enough
No,
already.
but we've had this conversation. If she ever threatened to have plastic surgery, I would just say, that's it, we're over. I don't, go to LA and they're all perfect, but they're all kind of soulless because they all look the same. They've all had the same surgery. They're all trying to achieve a perfection, which actually, when you get there, makes you less interesting.
That's the trade-off.
Takes
But that's
away
the
your
trade-off.
humanity and your individuality, isn't it?
Yeah, but once again, we're living in that society now. Got to remember, we're of a different generation where we would engage. Old is good, but where we would engage. Right, we would ask questions, and you could win somebody over on ambition. You remember when you could say to a person, "I want to be a doctor," and you go, "I like that."
Actually, making people laugh, I think.
Yes.
My trump card was not my rugged good looks.
Oh, here we go.
Surely not, Piers.
My trump card was I could always make people laugh, and I think women like that. Women like people that make them laugh.
I
But
can
the thing is,
probably
the
say
packaging is
that's
only
true.
interesting for a few minutes, isn't it? And then it's the contents.
Yeah.
And then it's the contents. It's this whole idea that people have got to be perfect.
Years ago, I met a woman on. You remember when you used to call into that phone line and you just speak to people randomly? This is like in the.
Is that one of those 0800 late night numbers, Richard?
Not late night. Don't do that. Right? And I
Sorry,
remember.
which phone line is this?
This was back in the day. Don't act like I was the only one on it, because I heard other people talking.
That's cute.
Right? But literally, and I was speaking to this woman on the phone, and she was like, "I'm going to be at Victoria Station, and I'll wear a rose." And I'll never forget. She described herself, and the only way I recognised her was from the rose, and this person was not.
How did she describe herself?
She wasn't that.